Hi guys, welcome back to Sim Raid YT in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we'll be working on the Ice Golem Peaks. But before we get into that, we'll just go back and we'll show you the standing where I'm at in the Great Hall. So you can see, to what level I am, how I can beat stages at the level I'm at. As you can see, I've been mostly working on accuracy, and because that's the most important part of each champion. The more accuracy you can have on the champions, the more chance of getting up their critical hits and things. And I've been working on void champions, as you know, they're the major of my champions I have at the present time. So I'll just show you what champions I'm going to be using. I'll have Arbiter in the team. Arbiter's skills are Gaze of Justice, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. As you can see, the additional books on her, it gives additional damage and buff chance. Places a 50% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns and fills the turn meters of all allies by 30%. Heals all allies by 25% of their max HP if they have less than 50% HP. And the Enforce attacks all enemies 1 time, has a 75% chance of decreasing the duration of all enemies' buffs by 1 turn. And then the Destinies revives all dead allies to 35% HP, then fills the turn meters of all allies by 20%. Grants an extra turn on this champion if any ally was successfully revived. So that's why I have Arbiter in the team. So if other champions die, she can bring them back to life. We'll have Mother Cybele as well. Now, Mother Cybele, she's in here for her skills of attacks all enemies, has a 25% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. Also fills this champion's turn meter by 15%. Uncanny Transfer, if this champion has equal to or higher than targets after the swap, fills the champion's turn meter by 40%, places a 30% increased speed buff on this champion for 2 turns, and places a block damage buff on target ally for 1 turn. But mostly places a revival and death buff and 60% increased buff on all allies for 2 turns, so she can revive champions as well. And then fully heals ally with the lowest HP when this champion is killed. Heals all allies by 20% of their max HP and fills their turn meters by 15% when this champion is revived. But her Aurora skills mostly should be in the lead to give the additional speed of 24% in all battles to our champions. We'll have Royal Guard as well. He'll be our nuker for the team. He has the Razor Blade, which is attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. So as well, if you add books to him, he'll get the additional damage and buffs. His Hamstring attacks 4 times at random. Each hit has a 60% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. Each hit also has a 60% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 25%. But his main skill is take down all enemies. Damage increases according to the max HP. As well, we will have Madame Ceres in the team, just for her skills and buffs and debuffs. Attacks one enemy, has a 20% chance of placing a fear debuff for 1 turn. This chance increases to 30% if the target is under 1 debuff. This chance increases to 45% if the target is under 2 or more debuffs. Removes all buffs from enemies, places a 50% decreased attack debuff and 60% decreased defense debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. So this is our most crucial role, is this Midnight Ritual. Then we have the Trick or Treat, attacks all enemies, has a 40% chance of stealing 1 random buff from each target, places block debuffs on all allies for 2 turns if any buff is stolen, places a True Fear debuff for 1 turn on enemies who have a buff stolen, and then the Witch's Grace places a shield buff on this champion equal to 10% of their max HP at the start of each turn. When attacked while under a shield buff, has a 35% chance of placing a fear debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. And then we have Armiger. Now, Armiger's skills are attacks one enemy, decreases the turn meter by 30% if this attack is critical. And then we have him Lay to Rest. Attacks one enemy, and enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. So we'll have Armiger in the team so he can work on the minions, and hopefully he gets the last hit on a minion next to the boss, so he can stop them from reviving. We'll have a look at the masteries. Now I have him set up in offensive gear and support. Now his offense will make it quick, it gives additional crit rate, increases the damage inflicted for 5%. Critical damage additional 10%. Increases damage inflicted to targets with less than 40% HP by 8%. Has heals by 5% on damage inflicted when attacking with 50% HP or less. Increases damage inflicted by 6% when attacking targets with higher max HP. Increases damage inflicted by this champion's default skill by 2% each time it is used during battle. Stacks across each round in a battle up to 10%. Increases damage inflicted by 6% in the arena and 3% in all other locations for each enemy killed by this champion in battle. Stacks across each round in a battle up to 12%. And then we have him in War Master. Has a 60% chance of inflicting bonus damage when attacking. Bonus damage is equal to 10% of the target champion's max HP or 4% of the target max HP when attacking bosses. Bonus damage can only occur once per skill and does not count as an extra hit. For support, we have him as additional accuracy. Additional increases accuracy by 20% when this champion has no skills on cooldown. Increases accuracy by 4% for each enemy alive, stacks up to 16. Increases the base stat set bonuses of all artifacts set that increase base stats by 15%. This increase is multi-active, not additive. Then we have decreases the target turn meter when this champion hits them with the default skill for the first time. Decreases the turn meter by 20% with a single target skills and 5% with AoE skills. Occurs once per target. And then we have increased speed by 8 for each dead ally, stacks up to 24. Now the reason we have all the accuracy on him is we want that accuracy. So we have him at 257. Now we work on accuracy of 10 per level. So say if we're doing level 10, we want to have 100 accuracy. It gives more chance of his crit rates to work. And of course you want to have 100% accuracy in his crit rate, but I've gone over that just because of the items I'm using. And as well, accuracy, so he has 257, so he should be good up to level 25 for his skills to work. Well, the champions will show. Madame Ceres, her masteries as well. We've set her up in defense because it's, you know, to keep her alive as long as possible. Additional defense there. Decreases damage received from AoE attacks by 5%. Decreases the damage received by 10% of this champion has stun, sleep, fear, true fear, freeze, petrification, debuffs. Has a 50% chance to remove one random debuff from this champion when those lose 25% of their max HP or more from a single enemy skill. Reduces the damage this champion receives from a specific enemy by 0.75% with each hit taken from that enemy. Damage reduction stacks up to 6% from each enemy. And Cycle of Revenge has a 50% chance of increasing the turn meter by 15% when an ally is attacked with a critical hit. In support, additional accuracy. Here we have the increased accuracy by 20. As you can see, we're working, you know, to gain that additional accuracy so she can get her buffs and debuff buffs as well. Increases accuracy by 4 for each enemy alive, stacks up to 16. Has a 30% chance of increasing the turn meter by 10% when a debuff cast by this champion is removed or expired. Increases the base stats set bonuses of all artifact sets that increase base stats by 15. This increases multi-active, not additive. Decreases the target's turn meter when this champion hits them with the default skill for the first time. It decreases the turn meter by 20% with single target skills and by 5% with AoE skills. Occurs once per target. Increases the chance of placing any debuffs from skills or artifacts by 5%. It will not increase the chance of placing stun, sleep, freeze, fear, true fear, provoke or petrification debuffs. As well, we have Master Haxer. Has a 30% chance to extend the duration of any debuff cast by this champion by 1 turn. It will not extend stun, sleep, freeze, provoke, fear, true fear, bomb or petrification debuffs. And last of all, we have the Eagle Eye. It gives it additional accuracy of 50. You know, just the same as what we have Armiger. We want that accuracy. The more accuracy, the better. That gives us those chances of getting off those critical hits. Damage, you can work on having speed so she gets a lot more turns. So you want to have come first, second in your team, so you know she can get out those buffs and debuffs before the other champions take their turns. Masteries on Armiger, she's set up with a crit rate of 5%, crit damage 10%, Increases damage inflicted by 5% when attacking full HP, so that'll help for our first turns. Increases damage inflicted to targets with less than 40% HP by 8%. The Life Drinker heals by 5% of damage inflicted when attacking 50% HP or less. Bring It Down increases damage inflicted by 6% when attacking targets with higher max HP. Increases damage inflicted by this champion's default skill by 2% each time it is used during the battle. Stacks across each round in a battle up to 10%. Has a 6% chance of inflicting bonus damage when attacking. Bonus damage is equal to 10% of the target champion's max HP or 4% of the target's max HP when attacking bosses. Bonus damage can only occur once per skill and does not count as an extra hit. In support, we have the accuracy. We have the increased accuracy by 20 where this champion has no skills and cooldown. Increases accuracy by 4 for each enemy alive. Stacks up to 16. Increases the base stat set bonuses of all artifact sets that increase base stats by 15%. Decreases the target's turn meter when this champion hits them with a default skill for the first time. Decreases the turn meter by this 20% when single target skills and 5% with AoE skill. Occurs once per target. We have the increases the chances of placing any debuff from skills or artifacts by 5%. And it has a 30% chance to extend the duration of any debuff cast by this champion by 1 turn. As well, we have the masteries on Mother Sobelli. She's set up an offense and defense to keep her alive. She has a crit rate of 5%. We have the crit damage of 10%. We have increases damage inflicted by 5% when attacking 50% HP or less. Increases damage inflicted to targets with less than 40% HP by 8%. Increases heals by 5% damage inflicted when attacking with 50% HP or less. Increases damage inflicted by 6% when attacking targets with higher max HP. Increases the damage inflicted by this champion's default skill by 2% each time it is used during the battle. Stacks across each round and battle up to 10%. And War Master has a 60% chance of inflicting bonus damage when attacking. In the defense, we have the res of 10. We have decreases damage received by this champion by 8% when this champion's hit is with a critical. Heals this champion by 10% of their max HP when they kill an enemy target. Reduces the damage this champion receives from a specific enemy by 0.75% with each hit taken from that enemy. Damage reduction stacks up to 6%. Has a 60% chance of placing a leech debuff for 1 turn when placing stun, sleep, fear, true fear, freeze, petrification debuffs. Has a 50% chance of counter attack when this champion loses 25% of their max HP or from a single enemy skill. And has a 20% chance to counter attack an enemy when they apply a stun, sleep, fear, true fear, freeze, petrification debuff on all allies. Cooldown of 1 turn. And we have as well, where is he? Oh, Cold Heart, Royal Guard, here he is. And our mastery is on the Royal Guard. We've set him up in the offense and support. Crit rate, give him crit damage. We give him increased damage inflicted by 5% when attacking 50% HP or less. Increased damage inflicted by 8% for the first turn on each enemy hit. Heals by 5% of the damage inflicted when attacking with 50% HP or less. Increases damage inflicted by 6% when attacking targets with higher max HP. Increases the damage inflicted by this champion's default skill by 2% each time it is used during the battle. Stacks across each round in the battle up to 10%. And the War Master has a 60% chance of inflicting bonus damage when attacking. Our support roles are accuracy. Increased accuracy by 20 when this champion has no skills and cooldown. Increases accuracy by 4 for each enemy alive. Stacks up to 16. It has a 5% chance of decreasing the cooldown of any random skill by 1 turn at the start of every turn. Decreases the target's turn meter when this champion hits them with the default skill for the first time. Decreases the turn meter by 20% with a single target skill and by 5% with AoE skills. Occurs once per target. The sniper increases the chance of placing any debuff from skills or attacks artifacts by 5%. And has a 30% chance to extend the duration of any debuff cast by this champion by 1 turn. It will not extend stun, sleep, freeze, provoke, fear, true fear, bomb or petrification debuffs. And being the nuker in our team, you want him to have as much crit damage as possible and accuracy, so that you know that he has the accuracy there to get off his critical hits. Now I could do with more crit rate, but at this stage, I just don't have the right equipment to do that. I worked and put all the effort into accuracy and critical damage. Madame Celeste, you can see it's her as well. We've got her with a lot of accuracy. So that's our 5 champions we'll be using in the team today in the Ice Golem in the dungeons. And like the Ice Golem, it's mostly attacks all enemies. He's Frost Nova, Numbing Chill, attacks all enemies, plus 50% decreased accuracy. He's Frigid Vengeance, attacks all enemies one time. How it works, don't you see by the apparent simplicity of this dungeon in early stages. But what you really want to do here is remove his minions first, and that's the idea of Armiger in the team. If he's the one to take the last hit, he can stop them being revived back to life. Take care of the minions out of the way, and then you can focus on the boss. Okay, we're on the stage 20 of the Ice Golem Peak. We have Mother Cybele as our lead champion with an additional 24% speed. We have Arbiter in the team for buffs and revival skills. We have our Madame Celeste as our buff debuff champion. Royal Guard as our nuker, and Armiger is here for block revival skills. And we'll jump straight into it here. Now we have our team set up for Mother Cybele to go first, and then our Arbiter and Madame Celeste for their buffs and debuff skills and capabilities. And then we follow in by our nukers of Royal Guard and Armiger. Because you want those buffs and debuffs out there before your nukers take their turns. Just remember though as well, if you can't beat a fight on auto, you can always do the fight on manual, and it gives you more control over what skills your champion's going to do at the certain times. So like the benefit of that would be our Armiger, he has a later rest skill. Now that's why we have him in the team. So you want him doing the last hit on a champion, on one of the enemies, so that he gets that later rest. That stops them being revived, then coming back to life. Yeah, so just don't think, oh, this team's no good because you can't beat it on auto. That, it's not working. If it's, you only need to get through the battle to get the rewards. So you can always do fights on manual if you have to. You just got to keep remembering along the way. You do your arena fights each day, so that can help with your town hall, upgrading your town hall, your skills in there. That helps your champions as well. Using additional accuracy, critical damage, health, defense. You don't need to be a top level 100 player to be able to beat areas in the game. We just got to focus on the arena daily, and then as you increase there, you're getting wins in the arena. Then you can add them to your town hall, which benefits your champions in all areas of the game. See, we put the Armiger did the job then on that one minion. He's in block revive now, so he can't come back to life. And that's the idea of having an Armiger in this team. That's his benefit. So now we only have one minion to deal with, so that means less damage coming our way to our champions. Got a few buffs happening on our champions here. Extra additional attack and speed, shields, and they got those out there as well. Decreased speed and that on decreased defense, decreased turn meter. Slowly but surely we're winning the battle here. And just remember, if any of our champions did die, as long as the Arbiter is alive, she can revive them as well. So that's one of the benefits of having her in the team. If we didn't need that. Here they defeast down. There we go. That was Ice Golem Peak Stage 20. Thank you.